on the known human pathogens, namely hepatitis. Hello, good day. So this is the start of the discussion on viral hepatitis with focus on the known human pathogens, namely hepatitis A virus, hepatitis B virus, hepatitis C virus, hepatitis D virus, hepatitis E virus, and hepatitis G virus. So a total of six human pathogens for the viral hepatitis. So let's start discussion on viral hepatitis.
This involves a group of viral agents that has viral tropism, to hepatocytes, So the target of this viral agents, okay, is the hepatocyte. Remember guys, ang mga viruses cannot survive outside the host cell. Okay? So pag nasa labas sila ng host cell, they cannot survive, and so therefore these agents are destroyed. So in the case of viral hepatitis, these agents, can only survive, can only multiply, can only replicate inside the hepatocytes. Okay? So we have five: hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, and ano pala, G. Okay, G. Okay, hepatitis G. Hepatitis, that's F. Wala pong F ha. Hepatitis A, B, C, D, E, and G. Anim pala. I forgot. Okay, the G class yung latest hepatitis agent. Okay? So let us start with hepatitis A.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, sorry po. Yung unang-una po regarding sa viral hepatitis, pwede po paulit?
Hmm.
Yung group of ano po?
Group of viral agents that has viral tropism to hepatocytes. So when you say viral tropism, may affinity, may a specific affinity viral tropism. Okay? So group of viral agents with viral tropism to hepatocytes. Hepatocytes as in liver cells. Okay, so let's start with hepatitis A. Okay, so the hepatitis A is also known as the infectious hepatitis. Also known as the infectious hepatitis. Okay, let's take note, hepatitis A, this is a self-limited viral disease. Self-limited viral disease. As it can only cause acute infection. It can only cause acute infection, but it does not progress to chronic infection. Okay? Acute infection lang last ang present in hepatitis A, but it does not progress, to chronic hepatitis. Okay? As hepatitis A, this is caused by a virus. Okay, the virus is what we call, of course, hepatitis A virus. Okay, the virus is called hepatitis A virus. Okay, as hepatitis A virus, take note, as hepatitis A virus is also known as enterovirus 17. Look at your chat box. Okay, hepatitis A virus is also known as enterovirus 17. Okay, and this hepatitis A virus, has just a brief background of microbiology or microbial. As enterovirus 72 or hepatitis A virus, this is an RNA type of virus, RNA type of virus, okay, belonging to the family of Picornaviridae. Ayan, class. Again, hepatitis A virus, also known as enterovirus 72, This is an RNA type of virus from the family of Picornaviridae. Okay? On that, brief background ng virus. Kasi that, sa microbiome 2, your teacher will discuss the details of hepatitis viral structure or viral family. Okay? So, sa hepatitis A virus, bakit siya tinawag na enterovirus 7.2? Because this viral agent can undergo can undergo as can undergo for this as it can undergo this term is as it can uncoat it can undergo uncoating it can undergo uncoating of the antigens in the intestine as it can undergo a viral uncoating, okay, in the small intestine or in the intestine. Okay, kaya entero, plus A, entero. Now, this virus, plus A, the virus, since it can uncoat itself in the intestine, so basically, plus the antigen of this virus can be detected in stool sample. Okay, stool sample. Okay, so class, remember, okay, to detect hepatitis A viral agent, okay, the specimen collected is the stool or the fecal specimen. Feces, tae po, tae ang nagamit para sa antigen ha. Now for the antibody, of course, it is the serum. It is the serum, okay? For the antibody, it is the serum. Kuha po natin. Okay, again, as specimen for the antigen of hepatitis A, as is the stool or the feces or the fecal specimen, tae, as for the antibody, that course, it is the serum or the blood, or the serum of the individual. Okay? The hepatitis intestine. Okay? Kaya nga class, hindi mo detect sa serum yung mga antigens ng HEPA A. Kundi sa stool. At stool sample ang specimen for antigen detection. Kapag antibody, syempre sa serum. Pero kapag class, early infection stage, at ang target i-test ay yung antigen, hindi yung blood ng yes, kundi yung stool sample. Okay, stool sample. So kapag yung stool sample ng patient ay may hepatitis A as viral antigens or viral proteins, at yan ay ma-ingest ng ibang tao, pwede mag-cause ng transmission ng hepatitis. Okay? That is fecal oral. Sabi ko rin kanina, it can also be sexually transmitted. Okay? Oral, anal, of course. Okay? For hepatitis A markers, early shedding of the virus happens in the stool. Okay? The stool sample. Okay? As a intestine nangyari, yung site ng pag-shed. Okay? So, stool sample is the sample, okay, for the antigen. Okay? So, IgM antibody, increases or appears, with the onset of symptoms. Okay? So, tumataas yung liver enzymes, SGPT, or the ALT, tumataas yan, along with increased bilirubin, magkakaroon terus yung nadidilaw, okay, nagiging jaundice ng puso, Next, so anti-HAV IgG is increased or seen in immunity or in convalescence. Okay, recorded. Next, so RIA and ELISA are used to detect the specific antibodies. Okay, the radioimmunoassay okay, and ELISA. Yan, ELISA. Okay, are used. Pwedeng direct, as pag direct, ang target is yung antigen, okay, kapag yung antibody, so pag antibody, indirect. Tapos dito, specific antibody ang test, indirect. Okay? Pero if you want to test the viral antigens, we use direct. For antibodies, indirect. Okay? That's yun natin na hepatitis A can only produce acute infection, acute disease. Okay? It does not progress to chronic stage. Okay? And less fatal yan as compared with hepatitis B and hepatitis C. Okay? Pero plus, in most countries, controlled na yan. Okay? Thanks to vaccination. Okay? Next. Last. Okay, next we have, by the way, hepatitis A is a type of RNA virus. Actually, class, sa mga hepatitis virus, isa lang ang DNA type. Isa lang ang DNA type. The rest RNA. Ano nga yung the only DNA type of hepatitis virus? Phenotype? What is the only DNA type of hepatitis virus? Please type your answer. Ano nga class? Okay, wala ko sumasagot. What is the only DNA? Wala ko sa mga what is the only DNA type of virus? The rest being RNA. See the answers. Very good. Hepatitis B virus. Okay, so hepatitis A, hepatitis C, hepatitis D, hepatitis E, hepatitis G are all RNA virus. Hepatitis B is the only DNA virus. Okay. Hepatitis B. Okay, so hepatitis B, that is known as serum hepatitis. Okay, the mode of transmission is through blood transmission. Actually, class, ang transmission ng hepatitis B ay kamukha ng transmission ng HIV. Kasi class, aside from blood transmission, sa pwede rin sexual transmission, sexual transmission, plus pwede parenteral transmission, diba? Plus, pwede needle stick injury, diba? Blood transfusion, pwedeng transfer from the mother to the baby, pwede kasi. So, pagkaparehas ang mode of transmission ng Hep B tsaka ng HIV. Halos magkamukha class. Mode of transmission. Okay? So, hepatitis B virus, the viral agent is the only DNA virus. Okay? And hepatitis B as virus is from the family of Hepatnaviridae. Okay? Hepatnaviridae. Okay? Let's proceed. So, hepatitis B, I forgot to mention that hepatitis B, can produce acute and chronic. Acute and chronic infection. Okay, acute and chronic infection. So compared with hepatitis A, hepatitis B is more fatal and it is more severe. Okay, more severe. If hepatitis B is not managed, hepatitis B can progress to hepatoma or hepatocellular cancer. Again, if hepatitis B is not managed, yung doctor, it can progress into hepatocellular carcinoma or cancer. Pwede maging cancer, pwede maging hepatoma yan. Pwede maging cancer. Okay? Let's proceed. This is the viral structure. Okay? So at the center is the DNA. okay, and then the polymerase, and then surrounding the DNA, okay, and the DNA polymerase are the core proteins and the surface proteins. Okay, this core protein and this surface proteins are essential for the viral testing, in the laboratory, and also important for immune response. Kasi class, as the virus enters the cell, the hepatocyte, naiiwan, kasi diba? Naiiwan yung mga surface proteins, plus naiiwan yung surface proteins sa plasma or sa extracellular environment, tapos yung mga core protein plus sa cell. Tapos itong DNA, strand ng virus, pinagpapasok sa nucleus ng mga na-infect na hepatocyte. Okay? Okay, serologic markers for hepatitis B virus. So we have the following. First is HBsAg, or the so-called hepatitis B surface antigen. Isa-isahin natin na sa exhibition na okay, also we have HBsAg, previously known as the Australia antigen. Alright, so this surface antigen is an indicator of early acute infection. Okay, early acute infection. Okay, indicator of early acute infection. Okay, so this surface antigen, okay, ito plus yung PLS in the laboratory plus screen. Okay, kasi plus presence of HBsAg can indicate an active infection. So whether acute or chronic, basta active infection, plus magpa-positive yung serum for HBsAg. Kaya kasi yan yung unang test sa hepatitis B profile. Tapos kailangan mo nang ma-screen yung patient. So test yung HBsAg sa serum kung present or absent. Kasi doon nalaman kung yung pasyente ay may active infection. Okay? May active infection. And HBsAg is also the best, please underline, the best indicator of active early infection. Okay? Next is, by the way, I forgot to mention, hepatitis B virus is also known as the Dane particle, Dane particle, D-A-N-E, Dane particle, hepatitis B virus, Dane particle. Okay, next, HBsAg. HBsAg, this is found within the core of intact virus. Okay, so basically, when the virus unfolds, the core antigen is released, not in the blood, but in the cell. So sa cells, na-release, sa infected cell, na-release yung core antigen. So take note, HBsAg is not part of the hepatitis B profile test. Kasi class, hindi siya makikita sa serum. HBsAg is only found in infected cells or tissues. Kaya nga class, liver biopsy ang ginagamit na sample. Liver biopsy if core antigen is to be tested. But otherwise, but in the serum, in other sample, hindi po siya mag-test. Okay? Okay? Next, ulitin ko, HBsAg is not included in the hepatitis B profile test in the serum. It is not found in the blood, but rather found in liver biopsy, infected liver as biopsy. Okay? Next is the hepatitis B envelope antigen, or the HBeAg. HBeAg. Okay. So for HBeAg, it indicates chronic hepatitis, with underlying chronic hepatitis. And HBeAg is used as a marker for the presence of high levels of virus and a high degree of infectivity. As kapag may hepatitis B envelope antigen class A, mataas yung infectivity rate nung individual. Okay, nung individual. Okay? That is HBeAg. Okay, mataas yung infectivity rate nung patient. Okay? Kasi mataas kasi yung level ng virus present in the individual. Okay? In the individual. Okay? That is HBeAg. Please copy. Okay, now proceed. Let's proceed with the next marker. Okay, we have anti-HBC. Okay, anti-HBC. So the anti-HBC is the first antibody to appear at the same time the enzyme elevation are first seen. Kapag tumaas class yung kapag tumaas yung SGPT or yung ALT levels sa yung patient, kasabay niyan yung pag-appear ng anti-HBC. Okay, so the first antibody that's appear actually sa mga pasyente may hepatitis B. Okay, so carriers, okay, symptomatic carriers can have anti-HBC. Kaya nga class, this is the reason why, okay, may mga laboratory na kapag ang pasyente ay wala namang symptoms and signs ng hepatitis, pero may mga instance na nagkaroon ng exposure or nagkaroon ng activities na pwedeng maging cause ng pagka-infect ng individual. Bawa, nagkaroon ng sexual intercourse, unprotected sex, nagkaroon ng needle stick injury, pero wala pa namang symptoms and signs, or whatever possible route of transmission. Okay? So, posibleng symptomatic yung patient, pero mataas yung risk na na-infect na siya, pinapatest yung anti-HBC patient. Okay? Pinapatest yan. Okay? So, the only marker present during the window period, of an infection, di ba sabi natin, walang demonstrable or walang madetect na manifestations, na clinical manifestations. Pero plus yung patient ay infected carriers. So, anti-HBC makita yan sa mga asymptomatic carriers. Okay? Asymptomatic carriers. The first antibody to appear kapag as infected individual at mataas ang kanyang SGPE or ALT. Okay? Next, anti-HBV. This is the first serologic evidence of convalescent phase. Okay? As pakasulat din, individual with anti-HBE, okay, individual with anti-HBE has this right, okay, when the patient has this anti-HBE, the patient, okay, this is the stage wherein there is already low degree of infectivity. Okay, kabaliktaran siya ng antigen. Okay, pag may anti-HBE class, okay, mababa na. Okay, mababa na plus yung level ng infectivity. Kapag antigen ang present, mataas ang degree of infectivity. Kapag class may anti-HBE na, mababa na. There is low degree of infectivity. Kasi class yung level ng virus ay mababa na. Kapag may anti-HBE yung individual. Okay, yung individual. Okay, kasi in this stage, recovery stage or convalescent phase na yan of the infection. And finally, number 6, we have the anti-HBs. Okay, this is the antibody. Okay, this is the antibody. Okay, that is able to provide a long-term immunity. A long-term immunity. Okay, to HBV. Okay, and anti-HBs may persist throughout life. Okay, it may persist throughout life. Okay, so yung anti-HBs, okay, basically, ito yung meron tayo. Okay, yung mga nagpapakuna for hepatitis B vaccine, okay, ito yung meron tayo. This is what we produce when we were vaccinated. And I think lahat kayo meron dito, okay? Kasi, di ba, you're preparing for the internship, so yung iba sa inyo, napapakuna na, okay? Pero plus, remember, hindi lang po dapat kayo napapakuna because of compliance to requirement. Kasi remember, ang bakuna is for your own protection. Okay? Hindi na dapat reason na mag-i-intern na or kasi kailangan sa trabaho or kasi kailangan pumunta sa ganitong lugar, kailangan magpapakuna. Remember, vaccination is our way of stimulating the immune system para mag-provide ng protection sa atin. And kung yung mga hindi pa nakatapos ng hepatitis B vaccine, pagpapakuna kayo, pero if mauna ang COVID vaccine, pakikuna na yung COVID vaccine. Okay? Kasi, yung tanong sa akin yung kasi mga incoming natin interns, kasi dito yung mga incoming interns, may face-to-face na sila. So, I was asked by one intern, sa akin, sir, meron pong COVID vaccine available sa amin. And gusto ko magpapakuna. Kaso, mag-i-intern na ako at kailangan ng hepatitis B vaccine. Ano po ang uunahin ko? Yung tanong sa akin. Yung sagot ko. Okay, yung sagot ko. Okay? So, in COVID, in today's pandemic, mataas yung risk na ma-infect ka kasi mataas ang community transmission. Kung baga, pag lumabas ka, punta ka sa mataong lugar na ma-expose sa ibang tao, sa palengke, sa grocery, sa enclosed area, lalo na air conditioned area, closed area, mataas yung risk na magka-COVID, di ba? Pag mahawaan ka, mas mataas yung transmission kasi sa labas. Now, ang hepatitis B kasi, di ba, ang mode of transmission niya is sexual intercourse, di ba? Sa ating mga medtech, ang pinakamalapit na risk natin is needle stick injury. Okay. Ang mga incoming interns, wala naman silang patient exposure. Hindi naman sila mag-phlebotomy. Ang mga incoming interns, mag-process lang ng specimen. Yung mga specimen sa lab, doon lang, wala silang phlebotomy, wala silang patient interaction. So yung risk ng hepatitis B ay mas mababa kumpara sa risk ng COVID. Kaya ang advice ko, kung may COVID vaccine, unahin yung COVID vaccine. Diba? Kasi class, hindi pwede pagsabayin yan. Kasi may interval. Like in my case, may COVID vaccine ako. Tapos nagpapakuna ako ng anti-flu. So merong interval na at least 2 weeks para yung sa dalawang vaccine ko pwede magsabay yun. Okay? So, Ganun din sa hepatitis B vaccine at sa COVID vaccine. So in your case, kung meron na kayong available na COVID vaccine dyan at pwede kayong magpaturo, please grab yung opportunity. Libre yan. Hindi yan dapat babayaran. Libre po yan. Pagpaturo na kayo ng COVID vaccine, kung may opportunity, it is safe. I am a living proof na safe yun. Kasi tapos na ako ng dalawang dose. Magpaturo kayo this way para sa inyo rin. It's for your own safety. Para sa mga hindi pa napapabakuna, medyo natatakot, tatandaan ninyo, medtech kayo. Kapag kayo natakot sa bakuna, lalo na matakot pag yun. Kasi ikaw nga na medtech, di ba? Medically inclined ka, takot ka dyan. Paano pa yung mga hindi medically inclined? Pagkalitaan at natatakot ka. So, lalo sila matakot. Diba? Pero kung because you are people of science, basically, we are people of science. We're men of science. Science, majors tayo. So, kailangan natin ipakita na safe ang vaccine. It's for our own protection. Okay? Kaya nakakalungkot class, di ba? May mga doktor ang nakakausap. May mga anti-vaccination. Share ko sa inyo, meron ako isang nakausap na doktor. May matandaan ng doktor. Yung ating isipin. Okay? Okay. Hepatitis B virus. And we also discuss its utilities. We also discuss its utilities. So let's continue with the different laboratory the hepatitis B profile result and its correlation. Okay, so please copy that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows, 3 columns. 6 rows, 3 columns. I think this is not included in your handout, so you need to copy. You need to draw a table. Okay. So let us start with the first. Copy muna. And when you're ready, we will discuss the table. Okay, so let us start with the first hepatitis B profile result. First, hepatitis B surface antigen is negative, anti-HBC is negative, anti-HBs is also negative. So lahat negative sa hepatitis B profile testing patient. So what is the interpretation in this patient results? So in this patient results, so wala siyang surface antigen, wala rin siyang antibodies. Okay? So this patient is basically susceptible. Susceptible to hepatitis B infection. Susceptible kasi plus wala siyang protection na antibodies. So wala siyang hepatitis B kasi wala siyang surface antigen. Pero since wala siyang antibodies, he is susceptible to hepatitis B infection. Okay? So, he is unprotected kasi. So, in this case, the patient is susceptible to hepatitis B infection. Okay? Next. Hepatitis B surface antigen is negative. Walang antigens. Pero, may anti-HBC at may anti-HBs. Anti-HBC at may anti-HBs. So, itong pasyente, walang antigen, walang hepatitis B antigen, pero meron siyang mga antibodies. So, in this case, the patient is already immune. Immune protected sa hepatitis B due to natural infection or previous exposure. Previous infection. Okay? Wala na siyang surface antigen, pero meron siyang antibodies. Okay? So, the natural infection here, okay, is correlated with the anti-HBC. So, may anti-HBC yung patient. Okay? Yan kasi yan class ang nag-determine na yung pasyente ay na-infect. Okay? Na-infect. Okay? Ng hepatitis B virus. Okay? Next. HBsAg negative, walang anti-HBC, pero may anti-HBs. Okay? So in this result, this interpretation, yung pasyente, immune na, okay, kasi tapos na siya sa vaccination. So in this case, class, kaya positive na siya because he had already finished the vaccination schedule or the vaccination dose. Okay? So, plus wala siyang anti-HBC, pero meron siyang anti-HBs. Ito plus yung expected na pattern ng results sa mga nagpapa-vaccine ng hepatitis B. Okay? Walang surface antigen, walang anti-HBC, kasi develop ng high titer ng anti-HBs. So the person is already protected. Okay, sorry, disconnect ako. Okay? And then the person has anti-HBs, so the person is protected to hepatitis B because of previous immunization or vaccination. Immunization or vaccination. Okay, next we have HBsAg. HBsAg is positive. May anti-HBC positive. May anti-HBC IgM specific positive. And anti-HBs is negative in this case. So what is the interpretation? So here, okay, the patient is acutely infected. Bakit acutely infected? Meron siyang HBsAg. Sabihin, merong active infection, di ba? Kasi meron siyang HBsAg. And meron siyang IgM antibodies. So meaning, the person is on the acute stage of infection. The IgM is already formed. So IgM is already formed. Okay? Acute stage infection. Okay? Next set of result. Okay? We have HBsAg positive, may anti-HBC, pero wala ng IgM. Okay? And then anti-HBs is not yet formed. So what is this interpretation? In this interpretation, in this test, the interpretation is that the patient is chronically infected. Bakit chronically infected? Meron pa rin siyang HBsAg to signify an active infection, but in this case, chronic. As paano naman chronic? Kasi class, wala na siyang IgM. Okay, sabihin it's on the chronic stage. Pag may IgM, class, it's on the acute stage infection. Okay, next, HBsAg is negative, anti-HBC is positive, anti-HBs is negative. As in this result, there are multiple possibilities, or multiple interpretations. So what are those possible interpretations? Una, the person has a resolved infection. Second, possible false positive yung anti-HBC. So kung yung anti-HBC ay false positive, na dapat ay negative, so meaning the patient is susceptible in developing hepatitis B infection. What else? Possible low-level chronic infection, and possible resolving acute infection. Acute infection. Please copy. Okay. Let's proceed with the next. Pwede na kaya? Okay, let's proceed with the next. Okay, for hepatitis B virus, okay, the following are the results and the corresponding interpretation. Okay, so please, okay, let's start with the first set of reaction. Okay, let's start with the first. And serologic test, okay, diagnosis. Okay, let's start with the first. HBsAg. Okay, so HBsAg, okay, and for HBsAg, if HBsAg is positive, ano class ng interpretation? If HBsAg is positive, the patient has an active disease. Again, if HBsAg is positive, the patient has active disease. Okay, whether chronic or acute. Okay, whether chronic or acute, pag meron HBsAg, sabihin mo natin active infection ng patient. Pero sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, HBsAg is an early marker for a marker for early infection. Pero in the active stage also, HBsAg is positive. Next, anti-HBsAg, okay, or simply anti-HBs. If anti-HBsAg is present or positive, ano class ang interpretation? The patient is already immune protected. Or kung ang pasyente ay nagkasakit, the patient is already cured. Okay, ibig sabihin class, okay, the patient has no active disease. The patient has no active disease. Okay, that is HBsAg. It provides long-term protection. Okay, next. HBCAg. Okay, HBCAg. So there are two possible. Next, for IgG anti-HBCAg, okay, if IgG anti-HBCAg is present, okay, this indicates cold infection. This indicates cold infection. So IgM anti-HBCAg for a new infection, and IgG anti-HBCAg for old infection. Next, okay, we have HBe antigen. Okay, so the envelope antigen, natin, okay, if HBe antigen is present, well, there is high level of virus. So therefore, okay, if this antigen is present, there is high level of infectivity. Okay, high level of infectivity, okay, of the person, of the individual. Now, for anti-HBe antigen, if the antibody is present, okay, so kanina, okay, yung kabalitaran, there is low level of infectivity. Okay, HBe antigen when present indicates high level of infectivity. Pag may antibody, anti-HBe antigen present, okay, this indicates low level of infectivity. Okay, so please type A if you understood the concept in the diagnostic association or correlation. Okay, your response. 35 lang. Yung response, 54, 50, 53. Ano nangyari kung umukuhan ka na sila? Umukuhan ka na kayo. Pagod na yung iba. Ano yun? Tapos dapat, para maabot mo yung kaharap, dapat consistent kayo. Okay? Consistent kayo in your, okay, in your for the in your commitment to reach for your consistent tayo when we work for what we want to achieve. Okay? Next. Okay. For the last statement, manatiling via HPSEG and HPSE. Okay. For the markers. Okay. So the first marker to be seen in the cell wound for the early stage is the HPSEG. Okay, followed by the HBeAg. Okay, so the first antibody, as you see, the first antibody to appear in the serum kasabay ng pagtaas ng mga liver enzymes is the anti-HBC. So this is the recovery phase or the window period. In the window period, ang class, ang HBsAg, posibleng di naman ma-detect masyado, hindi na mag-react, ang anti-HBC ay plus positive. Okay? So, in HBe antigen, ito kasi yung level of effectivity, high effectivity. Kasi plus mataas yung level ng virus. Okay? Yung virus. So, anti-HBe and anti-HBe is formed low effectivity na. And anti-HBs is one. Okay, if this is produced, in high titer, this could provide long-term protection or long-term immunity to the individual. Okay, so pag may pag-vaccination plus ang cause ng antibody production, so anti-HBs lang ang magkakameron ng patient. Kapag ang pasyente nagkaroon ng previous infection with hepatitis B, kumaliban sa anti-HBs, meron din siyang anti-HBC. Okay? So that separates or that differentiates a person protected from hepatitis B due to infection and a patient protected from hepatitis B due to vaccination. Okay? So test, okay, so for the vaccine, okay, in 1982, they derived from the recombinant strain of yeast. So, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, yan kasong ginamit na recombinant yeast, ginamit na as na organism in the vaccination for hepatitis B. Okay, so we have different tests available for hepatitis B detection. Okay, so we have first generation, okay, is precipitation reaction, while second generation is for immunoelectrophoresis, okay, and rheophoresis that complement fixation. And that's second generation. Okay, these two are not yet done in the routine laboratory, serology laboratory. Okay, kasi class, may mas specific na at saka may mas sensitive test. Okay? So, syempre, after the second generation, follows the third generation. Okay? So, the third generation test is considered the most sensitive test. Okay? So, for the third generation test, reverse passive latex agglutination is performed. For example, ito, class, sabi natin kanina, diba, example, so yung anti-HBsAg, may latex, to detect the HBsAg, the antigen, that is reverse passive. That is a third generation test. Ano pa? Reverse passive immunization. Okay? So yung antibody naka-attach sa red cell, tapos i-detect yung antigen. Okay? Ano pa? Okay? So yung ELISA, yung ELISA, tapos yung ELISA, so since pag antibody ang detect, so indirect ELISA. Kapag naman plus antigen, direct ELISA, same with LIA. So in this four, most widely used, confirmatory procedure for hepatitis B is ELISA. The most widely used confirmatory test for hepatitis B viral detection is ELISA. ELISA. Next. Kanina, diba, napansin nyo, we focus on the principle ba, the reaction principle. Kasi, regardless kung ano man, regardless kung ano man, yung infectious agent, sabi ng sa board exam, napaka-chlamydia ba yan, napaka-rubella, rubella, mga viral agent, Epstein-Barr virus, ano man yung viral agent na yan, as kapag serologic test ang usapan, kapag nasuko ng antigen at ng antibody, madali mo na lang ma-apply as yun when you know the basic foundation on the principle and its corresponding reaction. Okay? Kaya pag sinabi, rubiola antibody is, what is the principle when rubiola antibody is detected using rubiola antigen with latex. So that is passive, passive agglutination. Kasi yung antigen may latex. So anti-rubiola hindi detect. So huwag natin kakalimutan yung basic basic concept ng mga reaction kasi ma-apply din yun sa mga iba't ibang infectious agents. Okay? Pag alam mo klase yung basic nun, kahit ano pang iba kong tanong sa inyo about infectious agent test principle, i-apply nyo lang yung basic principle na kanina diniscuss natin. Example ito, kasi ba na-apply natin? Yung hepatitis antibody, i-detect yung hepatitis antigen using a reverse passive agglutination. So yung antibody, yung naka-attach sa latex to detect the antigen. Okay? Again, ELISA. Indirect ELISA is the most commonly used, the most widely used confirmatory procedure for hepatitis B. Okay? Now, in the serum of the patient or in the patient sample, okay, para malalaman, how do we know if the patient is highly infectious, disregard mo yung when we disregard HBe antigen, ano ginagamit to measure the actual antigen or the actual virus. As in the laboratory, in molecular laboratory, ginagawang procedure is what we call the viral load examination, viral load determination. In viral load determination, yung actual viral count ang quantitate sa patient blood. Diyan malalaman ka sa viral load, malalaman kung ang pasyente ay infectious or non-infectious na. Okay? Contagious or non-contagious na. Kapag mataas, plus, syempre may cut-off value para sa viral load. Kasi syempre, asahan natin na lahat ng may hepatitis B, lahat ng may AIDS, meron niyang viral infection, meron niyang virus. Syempre, parang tanong, ilan? Okay? Kapag ang viral load ay mababa na below the cutoff, ibig sabihin mo plus, yung infectious rate ng patient ay mababa na rin. So, yung time plus na pinapayagan silang ng trabaho, makapagay ng trabaho, kasi di ba, hindi mo sila pwedeng habang buhay na pasyente o ang ginagawa. Kasi, syempre, kailangan nilang kumita for their medicines, for their treatment, ba? So, hindi naman habang buhay silang suportahan ng gobyerno. So, saka syempre, pwede nilang magtrabaho. Kasi viral load yung i-measure para malaman kung pwede tanggapin, pwede magtrabaho na, pwede nang, kasi mababa na yung viral load, sabihin, hindi na siya low infectious kumpara sa mga pasyenteng mataas ang viral load. Okay? Pag mataas ang viral load sa blood, that indicates that the patient is still highly contagious or highly infectious. Okay? Pag mababa na yung viral load, because possibly, kaya bumaba na kasi yung sa pag-inom ng gamot, di ba? Pag-inom ng gamot, pagsunod sa schedule of medicine intake and other treatment plan for the patient, kaya bumaba yung viral load. Okay? molecular does lack of viral load. Next, ano sa HIV ganun din, viral load para malaman kung infectious ba or non-infectious or less infectious ang mga lesion. Okay, next we have non-A, non-B hepatitis. Okay, so in non-A, non-B hepatitis or hepatitis C is a blood-borne hepatitis. Okay, blood-borne hepatitis. So hepatitis C virus is also an RNA type of virus. Okay, from the family of Flaviviridae. Okay, Flaviviridae. Okay, hepatitis C is RNA virus from the Flaviviridae group of virus. Okay, so it's a blood-borne hepatitis or a post-acute hepatitis type. And mga other names na. Okay, so the main mode of transmission of hepatitis C is through blood transfusion and needle stick injury. Okay, so the hepatitis C, you have different serologic tests. Okay, so we have the surrogate testing. Okay, and for hepatitis C antigen, okay, or for the antibody, okay, gumagamit din ng ELISA, indirect ELISA and RIA. And please add, there is a laboratory test that is commonly performed to confirm hepatitis C viral agent. And this is in fact used in confirmatory testing for patient enrollment. Okay, the procedure is what we call RIBA, RIBA, RIBA. Okay, so RIBA meaning recombinant immunoblood assay, RIBA, or the recombinant immunoblood assay, RIBA. Okay, sa hepatitis A kapag sa hepatitis B may vaccine na. Sa hepatitis C, they are still developing they're still perfecting Hep C vaccination. Kasi mahirap gawa ng vaccine ng Hep C. Kasi yung viral agent, yung hepatitis C virus, highly mutating, iba na morphologically complex compared with the previous two viruses we've discussed. Kaya wala pang established vaccine for hepatitis C, for individuals. Okay, hepatitis C is also highly fatal. It is also highly fatal. Okay, now for the test, RIBA is the most commonly used or most commonly performed confirmatory test for hepatitis C. RIBA, RIBA, recombinant immunoblood assay. Okay, next we have hepatitis B. Okay, hepatitis B, we have the delta hepatitis. Okay, delta hepatitis. So for delta hepatitis, that's another type of RNA virus. So hepatitis B, the viral agent, requires an obligatory helper function from hepatitis B. Specifically, the surface antigen of hepatitis B. As remember, kailangan po ng hepatitis B virus ng surface antigen structures or surface antigen molecules of the hepatitis B. Okay, tapos kailangan yun for the replication process. Okay, and for the infectivity. So without hepatitis B won't replicate and won't infect. Kaya nga class, ang hepatitis B can have co-infection with hepatitis B. Hepatitis B can have co-infection with hepatitis B, in the patient. Pag may hepatitis B, given na yun that meron ng present ng hepatitis. Okay, and the clinical setting, ang pasyenteng may co-infection ng Hep B at ng Hep D, they are reported to have faster infection rate. Mas mabilis yung pag-infect ng hepatocytes kapag may co-infection ng Hep B at ng Hep D. Okay, hepatitis. hepatitis E. Hepatitis E is similar with hepatitis A in terms of its pathophysiology. Parehas gas, halos. Ang hepatitis E at hepatitis A. But the hepatitis E is more on water. Water transmission. Water transmission. So again, hepatitis E is already eradicated in many countries. But in poor countries, especially those with poor water treatment facilities, ayan, yung mga hepatitis E cases pa din. Mga mahirap na countries, Hepa E is still present. Pero sa mga developed countries, iilan-ilan na lang. Usually, yung mga nagtatravel, nagtatravel sa mga poor countries, tapos uuwi sa kanila, kung yung develop ng Hepa E, doon na nag-manage ng Hepa E, kaya sila na-report. Pero yung origin ng Hepa E, sa mga poor countries and because of poor water treatment facilities or absence of such. Walang water treatment facilities. Okay? And ilipid natin, wala kasi dito, number 6 is hepatitis G. Wala pong Hepa F, wala pa yung hepatitis G. So hepatitis G is similar with hepatitis C in terms of the pathophysiology. Again, hepatitis G is similar with hepatitis C in terms of its pathophysiology. But hepatitis G is less severe compared with hepatitis C. So, ang Hepa A at Hepa E magkamukha, parehas halos ng pathophysiology. Ang Hepa C at Hepa G magkaparehas din. Okay? Okay. So, that is for hepatitis.
As for hepatitis G, it is less pathogenic compared with hepatitis C. Kasi di ba yung hepatitis C, hepatitis C is a pathogenic type. Hepa G is less pathogenic. Okay? Pero same po sila ng mode of transmission and the mode of transmission and the infection, the infection type. Pero between the two, as more severe ang hepas. Okay?